we are going to do some drastic changes to the 850. So we have our half V50 that we picked up at the junkyard. Alright guys, welcome to today's video. There's no easy way to saying this, but I made a mistake a long time ago when installing the rear suspension of the car. So we're gonna get a fixture so we can fix all the problem that we have done in the rear suspension. The problem really is that we don't know what it is, so I've decided to cut away all the stuff I made in the rear, start over from the beginning. Now I think it's I don't know, 7 years since I put it in, and I didn't know what I was doing when I did it. I know a lot more now, so we're gonna start over, and you're gonna be with us from the start this time, and really doing it the best way possible with everything that's been done. So today we're gonna go to a junkyard in Alingsås. It's 35-minute drive from where I live, and basically cut out a floor pan of a P1 V50 to have as a jig, and then we can proceed to make that jig a fixture that fixes in the car. So yeah, now we're gonna get a tow trailer and yeah, see if we can get this to work. After hooking up a trailer and arriving at the junkyard, I started looking up ways to stabilize the car. I found this trolley and thought it would make a great support. Unfortunately, the space between the car and the ground was not enough. So I started scraping the surface of the dirt to find a little space that was missing. At the same time, the manager came and asked if I wanted some help lifting it up with the forklift. This made everything much easier, and I could soon start cutting away parts of the car. Fresh cut. It's off. The rear end is loose. We're gonna take the forklift truck. It's there. See if we can just lift away the front of the front of the car, and then we can take the rest of it and put it on my trailer. These guys have been really helpful. I didn't expect that. Usually they're really not this helpful at junkyards here in Sweden. They just, you help yourself, they don't want to bother with anything. So huge shout out to the guys at Alingsås delblock. They were really helpful. This was easier than I expected. Again, huge shout out to delplocken i Alingsås. I would have been stuck here for maybe 3 hours more if you haven't helped me with the forklift. So yeah, huge shout out. And yeah, this is really cool. Now we're moving forward. I'm just gonna strap this down and pay, and then I'll go back to the garage. So like I said in the previous video, we are going to do some drastic changes to the 850. So we have our half V50 that we picked up at the junkyard. We're going to do some cleanup on the V50. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can clean out all of the glass and like belt tensions and belts and stuff like that, or carpets that's on this side of everything has to go. So we can get rid of tow hooks and stuff like that before we flip it. Then we're gonna flip it over so we can access everything that's underneath, and then we can start by making our jig for the rear suspension. So what we're gonna do is we're going to use this bench that I borrowed from Christian. it's absolutely straight. So we're gonna mount the 850 on the bench later on, and basically everything that is rear of the main hoop and is going to go away. Why are we doing this? Yeah, we do this because I've somewhere along the road of building this car made a mistake, and I'm trying to hunt it down. I try to basically just try to fix it. It's a toe issue. We have a lot of bumps there on the rear suspension, and yeah, you could just move like a toe link out or in or something, but I've tried that. I've tried 100,000 million times to do this, but I can't seem to figure out what's wrong. So what we're going to do is we're going to take everything away that I've done, because I somewhere along the way just did something wrong with the installation of the rear suspension. I didn't do it on a flat piece of bench like this, and it was like 7 years ago, so I wasn't paying attention to stuff that I really know it's very important now. Now I've been working in the industry for so long. It's just things that you learn by doing mistakes and stuff like that. So yeah, we're going to do some updates on the rear suspension while we're doing it. So we're going to make a real like tube frame chassis installation of the rear suspension of the car. It's basically like that already. We kept this part is 850, it goes under here, then we bolted on the rear suspension from the C30. We're not gonna build like shock tower. We're gonna make more of a bracket style type of shock tower. So we're gonna use the same suspension that we have. We're going to use the Links dampers. We're going to use them as a cantilever that's bolted in the middle of the new rear suspension. And we're going to make like a tubular chassis, like a bolt-in section. So everything that's on the rear suspension is going to be like in a package. When everything is done, we can just put everything on the bench, lower down the 850, cut away the stuff that's up here, and then just slide the rear suspension. When everything is cut away, slide it in the rear section of the car. So I'm thinking this is going to be a fun moment. It's going to be a lot of work. We have to do clever stuff on the rear jig, because now comparing to front, let's look at this. So you see the rear suspension is like just outside the car, and when I'm going the other way, you can see the front suspension is much wider than the rear. We're going to widen the subframe. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure everything out, do everything as we are supposed to do when everything is right, when we have like a jig that's good. We're going to cut the rear suspension here, just straight down in the middle. So we have the subframe widen, and the front is fairly much wider than the rear one. So we're going to widen the rear subframe like, I don't know, maybe 20 centimeters. I haven't measured it out yet, but it's like 20 centimeters or something like that. And that's gonna change like roll center heights and stuff like that. So we need to see where we are about in the roll centers, and also going to do like a calculation of how much bump steer we have on the stock car, like the stock suspension that we have. Because the only thing, not the only thing, but the big thing that changes is like roll center heights is going up, I think, on the rear suspension when you widen the positions of the arms. And also, when we widen the position of the arms, the whole section, like on this car now, so this compared to this is not going to move. So this is going to be the same like bump steer, camber curve as the original like OEM suspension have. And that's not bad. We just need to tweak it to get it as good as it can be. And also this tire blade position is going to change. So this is going to be like here or outside here. So basically we're going to do like a World Time Attack chassis. Yeah, now let's clean up the half of the V50 and then flip it over. So car is flipped over. Everything is very easy to access now. So I'm going to start by just doing one thing at a time, taking away tanks, exhaust, silencer, all the things underneath. So everything is just easy to access on the rear suspension. I think I'm going to save these heat shields because they're very good. Because Volvo put a lot of faith in them, considering this is a high temp exhaust and this is a plastic tank. This actually does a really good work. So maybe I can put stuff of this, maybe cut it in other shapes and then put it in the exhaust tunnel underneath the 850. Yeah, so now everything is off the V50, everything that had to come off. So we have saved the rear suspension, and I think that's about it. That's been saved on the car. So we have the rear suspension, everything we took away, which is a lot of stuff, is going in the trash can. And now we can start trying to make a jig to fit on this side of the suspension. Then we can take everything out, still have a jig in place, and then put it on the working bench and start doing measurements. So I think that will be the end of this episode. If you want to see more of this stuff, you know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. I'll be very happy. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.